Junior, we all on?
Yeah, we're set. We're good.
Hello, Patriots. Jack Dennis
Live.
with you tonight. We are live, and we are fed up with politics. We're sure most of you agree with us in that statement. You're just as fed up as we are. Matter of fact, we're probably sure you are. Most sure that you are fed up.
If you're listening to this show, you are.
Yep. So let's please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. My brand new chair I got for Christmas.
It's right here. Oh, yeah. I think you are.
Who knows? They're exactly the same.
We're going to do two things tonight. Jack's going to talk about the state with our worthless.
He's an idiot.
I'm going to talk about current affairs. Remember, at 5:30 on your way home from work, we're on a podcast. Meet at the tavern. We're putting up a Stand United with Jack and Dennis. We're on Apple, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Podcast Addict, Giovanni, and there's a few more I can't remember right now.
No mugs, though.
Yeah, no mugs.
Just
Got our Independent Constitution Party symbol, our emblem. And then that starts on Thursdays at 5:30 Eastern Time. So on your ride home from work again. And remember, we always do a live show here at 7 o'clock, the one you're watching right now. And every Thursday night on Facebook, we got the United States Constitutional Group, Independent Constitution Party, and I'm on a personal Facebook page.
and YouTube. It goes on YouTube and it goes on our
Website. So please like, share everything, YouTube, Facebook. Subscribe, become friends with us. Again, Stand United with Jack and Dennis. Meet at the tavern. Either one will get you where we want to be. Go to our website. We usually put it up on there sometime tonight or early tomorrow morning. We're going to give you a different take on what's happening in the world and in politics. And why we need to remove all these politicians that we have in our office right now. And that's the reason why we say at this show, the beginning, we're fed up with politics. We know there are millions of people like us that are just fed up the way we are. Fed up with the way this country is going, and fed up with politicians who could not organize, in my opinion, pizza boxes. I couldn't come up with anything else. That's all I could think of.
Like I say, I hate to insult the average working guy with politicians. Like I refuse to call them used car salesmen anymore. At least used cars, they have a purpose.
Yeah,
Politicians don't even have a purpose anymore.
Nope.
They don't do nothing.
They do.
They don't pay our debts. They don't protect us.
But they raise the debt ceiling.
Yeah.
They don't pay bills.
Not really sure where that money's going. I haven't felt any of the goodness that I've been told I'm supposed to feel.
So one issue that was in the news last several days was the Chinese balloon flying over the United States, our sovereign territory.
Looked a little bit like Whoopi Goldberg's outfit the next day.
Oh, I'm sure.
Maybe that's where it went because they can't find it in the ocean.
You see I show you the balloons we sent over there? I can't show you because it's on my phone. But after this, I'll show you the balloon we sent over there. So President Biden said he gave the order on Wednesday to shoot the balloon down, whatever it was, collecting. No one knows right now.
Hey, it's Hunter.
Hunter, yeah, we should ask him. No, he's probably high somewhere. But our military's leaders decided to not cease its operations until Saturday. It was a sight to see. I can tell you that for sure. Hundreds of cars.
I was playing golf.
I was standing right outside my house.
Me and my old partner were on a golf course going, look at that. It's a balloon. Jets are flying around it.
I don't know why I couldn't invite Dennis to the golf course, but that's okay.
It was the last minute. It was cold. I don't think you would have liked it.
Hundreds of cars parked along the roadway. People standing outside on the side of the road, looking up at this guy taking pictures for keepsake. And it was actually an unbelievable sight. I mean, I took a couple pictures too.
Unbelievable sound when they shot that thing down. It sounded like one of them fighter jets broke the sound barrier.
So our military planes flying in circles around this balloon. And it was a beautiful sight. to see the balloon get deflated. And experts say it went down in the Atlantic Ocean, right where we live in Surfside Beach.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, they renamed it to Missile Beach.
Missile Beach.
Yeah. The only thing is, I didn't see where it went. I seen it deflate. I never seen it went down. They said it's about 4 miles off the coast of Surfside, but you really couldn't see the thing going down. We heard this balloon were 3 vehicle of bus sizes. They're supposed to be taking pictures. Again, we really haven't been told. Maybe we have. Maybe I missed it. Jack assured me earlier he didn't see anything either, so
No.
I'm not losing it.
I live on the beach. Went down there, looking at Navy boats and stuff like that. No balloon.
So a vehicle, again, 3 school buses long, gets shot down off the coast right here in Surfside Beach. Where's the bus? Where's the debris from the bus? It had to break up when it hit. I mean, it's coming down hard from 60,000 feet. It's got to break up, right? Where are the 3 buses? Have they been recovered? Something doesn't add up here.
Check Biden's garage.
That's a good idea. 1 plus 2 in our book is supposed to equal 3. I don't even think it's equal 1 right now.
Mm-mm.
I'm going to say Biden gave the order on Wednesday because we haven't been told otherwise. We have no way to prove if it's false or not. I'm sure it'll come out down the road.
Well, me and Mike were talking, and we think that maybe Bugs Bunny should be the new Secretary of Defense because he's always popping balloons in the air. And we should make Wile E. Coyote the Joint Chiefs of Staff because he is a what, Mike?
Super genius.
There we go. It's about the they belong in the U.S. In the executive branch.
So what I want to know is why did the military wait to shoot this thing down on Saturday over South Carolina?
They
Believe it or
big
not.
enough pin.
Because believe it or not, this area, all the new houses that they built and all the infrastructure they've added, there's got to be about 1 million people living here. Is that what you said? About 1 million people living here.
I think so.
So why they decided to shoot it down over our little hometown, it's kind of a mystery and suspicious. For one, the government told us it came through Alaska. Why was it shot down now?
Hello, Aleutian Islands. Nobody lives there. It's freezing. Nobody cares.
Alaska has some of the largest open areas where it'd be great to shoot down a balloon.
Shoot down anything. They shoot everything in that state.
This government tells us we have the best intelligence technology in the world. How to get into Alaska territory in their airspace in the first place with their best military ever. Listen, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm a realist. There's more to this Chinese balloon story than they're willing to tell us. And we're never going to get the answers, I don't think.
See that? Chinese is not known for food anymore.
So they always talk about population. They couldn't got down because of population. So they went over to the state of Montana. They said they couldn't shoot it down there because of the population. So in population size, I saw something on the internet yesterday where they're saying, I think someone listens to our podcast and they redo it because they're talking about how there's more officers kill more white victims than black victims, than black people.
Yeah.
And he said numbers don't lie. And he's right. Numbers don't lie. Just like this, numbers don't lie.
They are listening because I saw another guy who was on Fox. I forget what his name is. And he wrote a book, something about being faithful to the oath. And we
Huh?
are
you serious?
It's right there back on his book thing that he wrote a book on. You're welcome,
So there's 50 states. There's not no more. There's 50. In population size, Montana.
Well, 51 if you count Mexico.
We talked about that in them too, in our book.
Yeah.
In population size, Montana is ranked 43rd in the nation, with just over 1 million people. Scratching my head again. They have over 147,000 square miles.
Hence the reason they call it Big Sky Country, because that's all you can see.
And they're telling us it's because of the population.
Big Sky Country.
Number 1, it's a mountainous state. Number 2, lots of open land where they could have shut it down. Y'all staying with me?
Might have heard of Buffalo.
Might have. Told you earlier, numbers don't lie. Then they let it fly over Idaho. our military is really screwed up on this. Idaho is ranked 39th in in the population size of our country. Just over 1.5 million people, nearly 1.7. But they couldn't shoot it down there because of population. And they have lots of open land too.
Yeah, I believe that's where they grow the potatoes.
They do.
Takes
Lots of potato fields. Again, this story does not add up in my book. Number one, why did our military, who tells us they have the best technology in the world, ever let it fly in American airspace? It came from Russia. You know, China and Russia are like this now. You know, they're
They're best friends.
they're really close. So if we have the best technology, why did they even let it get into our territory in the first place? But they let it fly over 4 states before taking hundreds of miles into our territory. It traveled hundreds of miles before they said, "Oh, let's shoot it down at Surfside Beach." What are we not being told about this issue? Did Biden not give the order to shoot it down, or did his military screw this operation up? Somebody did. You can't trust the government. At least I know I can't. I'm sure Jack's on agreement with me there.
I have to ask Joe Biden.
You know, is Biden or the military supporting Chinese operations? Both. Rumors are we're going to be at war with Chinese sooner than we realize. It all depends on if China invades Taiwan. Because we already know Chinese satellites pick up most of our country's activities anyway. They know where our military bases are. They know which populous areas and the number of people in each state.
You know how we know this? They bought our property around it.
Right? So why did the military let that balloon fly in our airspace? What kind of information did they gather? We still don't have those answers. Just telling you, we need to be careful, people. Because this government, these politicians, these tyrants, feed us a line of bull every day. This Chinese balloon fiasco, we're being told even more lies with it. Someone's in cahoots. Our politicians, the president, his administration, the military. I don't want to, like I said, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but there's more than they tell us. We must be on our toes. What are they trying to accomplish? By us watching these planes fly around this balloon and shooting it down. Haven't heard anything yet, but be on your toes. You know, this Chinese show, it was a clown circus. You know, and that's my opinion on the Chinese balloon fiasco. Let's go to Jack. He wants to get into the State of the Union with the, in my opinion, the worst president we've had since the beginning of our country. He is the worst, but he's even worse than Jimmy Carter.
Another Chinese fiasco.
Yeah, so he started out first off, the State of the Union is more like a Hollywood gala now, you know. They're all fancy dresses and stuff. I think next year they should put a red carpet out, you know, out front. And we can, so Senator so-and-so, where'd you get that dress? Who did that? You know, and it's all on tax dollars. They, you know, we pay their salary.
Right.
You know, at least in Hollywood, they make their own money. You know, we're giving them this money so they can get all dressed up and dolled up for tonight. It's a mockery. The standing ovations used to be something that was profound. This man has just said the most profound. Let's stand up and give him a. Now it's like an aerobic class. These people don't know when to start clapping. When do we start clapping? When do we sit down? Do we get stand up? I was getting tired watching him. So he started out by saying the United States never came out of a crisis weaker than when they entered it, and that's true. The only thing is with that is I just hope that this country can survive Biden because he's terrible. So he started off his lies. They were this was a lie and sort of a jab at the last administration and sort of like campaign type thing. So President said 2 years ago the economy was reeling, that democracy faced its greatest challenge. I mean, I was living better 2 years ago, 3 years ago than I am today. I mean, I'm barely making it. He stated that they created over 800,000 jobs. That's a lie. That's a flat out lie. They've created 219,000 jobs. The other ones were just returnees from the COVID shutdowns. So he also brags about inflation coming down over the past year, but it's still up over 5% from when he got into office. When he got into office, inflation was at 1.4%. Then he said that the price of fuel is because of Putin's war interfering with the energy supply. That's a lie. His executive orders stopping the domestic drilling and everything else, that was what it was from. Food inflation is at 13%. That's another tax. He also went on to this other thing. This is amazing. This amazes me when you get somebody like Joe Biden talking about the past of this country in a negative way. So he goes on about these semiconductors and how America made 40% throughout the world, and now we're down to 10%. He said America lost its edge over the last several decades. Well, sir, I have news for you. Unfortunately, you were in office for the last several decades. You were senator, vice president, and now president.
You are still part of the problem.
Right. So if we lost our edge, maybe it was through your mediocrity leadership while you were in the Senate, vice president, and now presidency. He also stated that he has funded over 20,000 projects already. This is a rhetorical question. You can answer me if you want. You could go on the interweb, there and type it in. Has anyone seen anything being done? Has anybody
Oh, can I answer that?
gotten, hold on, there's part two of this question. Has anybody gotten a new job out of those 20,000 projects? 20,000 projects in 50 states. That's quite a few. That's 1,000 in each state, right?
Yeah,
Right? So there should be 1,000 projects going on right in your backyard.
if you have a backyard.
Well, again, rhetorically. If you want to answer that, we already know the answer. Nobody's got anything. Why? Because it was like Obama's shovel-ready jobs. They weren't really there.
Obama said the same thing.
Yeah, but at least he admitted it.
His aren't coming.
So then he goes on. Everything in this State of the Union was conducted off of the Inflation Reduction Act. That was the bill that them crazy Republicans signed on to, and right before the new House came in, and it was supposed to solve everything. All right? So because of this Inflation Reduction Act, he said it twice or three times last night that nobody making under $400,000 a year is going to be taxed. Nobody. I mean it. Screaming and yelling just like that. Nobody under $400,000. And last year, that's all he talked about. Nobody. So let me introduce you folks to nobody making under $400,000 is getting taxed. You ready? These are all hidden taxes. Right? Food is up overall 13%. Electric is up overall 14%. Gas up 40%. Interest. Your interest rate is from 6 3/4 from 0. 2.5 years ago, no interest rate. Now it's 6 3/4. Inflation, 6.7% from 1.4%. He wants to pass a bill for billion-dollar corporations to have an automatic 15% tax. We've said it once, we've said it a million times. Corporations do not pay taxes. They pass it on to the consumer. So that's another 15% tax.
Oh, look at the 7 biggest lies Biden told this week.
Yeah. Every one of them was last night. So here's the thing about, and he also said the rich are finally going to pay their fair share. Billionaires don't pay. First off, he goes, billion-dollar companies getting 15% are still not going to pay more than a nurse or a fireman. I don't know. 15% on $1 billion is what? $150 million? I have yet to meet a nurse or a fireman that makes $150 million or pays $150 million in taxes. Never heard of it. So the top 1% in the U.S., the top 1% richest in the United States pay 90% of the tax, 70% of the federal tax. He wants to quadruple the tax on energy. Who's going to pay for that?
Yeah.
The guy making under $400,000 a year. They're
How it
going to
goes.
pay because he's never going to do it.
That's for trusting your politicians. The one you vote for every year.
Right.
Maybe a cold winter, and a
So
hot summer.
all night he kept saying, "I'm for the middle guy. I'm going to grow this economy from the bottom up, in middle out, not from the top down." First off, I never got a paycheck from a poor person in my life. He also went into this non-competing agreement. Another lie. In other words, what this non-competing agreement is, let's say you own McDonald's and there's a Burger King across the street. So McDonald's and Burger King get into cahoots, and so this cash register there making $8 an hour can't go across the street to Burger King and make $9 an hour. Not allowed to do that. He said he put an end to that. What happened in 2019? 155 blue chip companies said, "We're not going to do that anymore." You're right. So he didn't do that. You know, we have a real problem here. He's talking about lowering the price of insurance and the bills for them. So this is another lie. Everybody I talk to tells me how their insurance, their health insurance, is going up and covering less. So your insurance is going up, it's covering less. If it's being taken at all.
You can't even see a doctor nowadays, it seems like.
If you need your prescription refilled, you can see the doctor that day. You're sick, you will see that doctor in a month. So your insurance is going up, it's covering less. You can't get in to see the doctor. Prescriptions are going up. Unions and everybody else that pays for these prescription plans can't afford, they can't keep up. So what's happening? Listen, he's telling you right on TV what's happening. This is the introduction to socialized medicine without your knowledge and without your consent. They're bringing it in here. You can't get in to see your doctor. The doctors are signing contracts with these companies. They're getting paid whether they see you or not. If you're sick, you have to wait weeks, sometimes months, before you can see a doctor. My sister, how long did Donna wait?
She's still waiting for a CAT scan.
She's still waiting for the CAT scan. This was back by Thanksgiving time,
And
no?
then, yeah, before that, it was at least 2 months before she got in.
Before she could see a pulmonary specialist, all right? He also said that he reduced the deficit by $1.7 trillion. That's a lie. That's a complete straight out lie. The $1.7 trillion that he took out of the budget was the COVID money. The COVID money stopped, and the amount was $1.7 trillion. So the deficit's still going up. It didn't go down. But he's saying, well, because that 1.7, I brought it down. He didn't bring it down. Those programs ended. So it stopped at $1.7 trillion. That's his number he's hanging it on. You know, the Republicans were screaming and yelling at him, booing and hollering. I was. And not because, first off, the State of the Union should be the State of the Union. We're in trouble.
It
But I'm
shouldn't be
working
about, it shouldn't be about, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You say, hey, we're $32 trillion in debt. We can't pay our bills because of this.
Because of the State of the Union, this is all I can cover.
Stop giving false hopes. I know you try and give people hope, but people are beyond that.
He's not giving anybody. He's selling his own. He's stamping his own ticket. I'm running for 2024, and the State of the Union is only good for the people sitting in that room.
Over 60% of people believe our country is heading in the wrong direction.
Yeah. Well, if you want to help, Mr. President, Mr.
Please,
Senator,
resign.
Mr. Representative,
Resign.
this is what you can do. So this is the only constitution I can do today because of this. I forgot that the State of the Union was coming, and you guys that follow the show know I love to go over this. Usually I go by minute. I'll stop the minute, 22 minutes and 30 seconds. He said this. Can you believe it? So, Article 1, Section 8. Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, and excise to pay the debts and provide for common defense and general welfare of the United States. But all duties imposed and exercised shall be uniform throughout the United States. So that means it's a flat tax. Steve Forbes ran on that. I think twice he ran for president for a flat tax. Unfortunately, the problem with the flat tax idea is the first progressive president of the United States got an amendment through, Amendment 16. So if you want to help the middle class get rid of this amendment and go back to the original Constitution, where everybody from the census gets pays the same amount of taxes, that will get you rich, your poor, your middle class, everybody will have it. Amendment 16 was ratified February 3rd, 1913. And here's what it says. The Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes on incomes from whatever source derived, without apportionment among the several states and without regard to any census or enumeration. In other words, they can tax you until they're blind. They do not care. That is one of the most important things you need to do, is get your representatives, your senators, to get rid of the 16th Amendment. If you want taxes to be broken for you as a middle class person, then you got to get rid of, again, we always say how the founding fathers were geniuses. They understood that if you give that much money power to a certain group, a minority of this country, they're going to take it. Go ahead, Mike.
Margaret was saying a plan on how to fix our problems is what should be talked about in the State of the Union.
That's correct.
Unfortunately, everybody that was in that room for the State of the Union does not have a problem.
They're doing fine.
They're cruising. Like I said, it's like a Hollywood ballad.
How much of a raise did they get?
I don't know. We got to find that out.
So they give themselves a raise, probably a high raise.
Yep.
Probably
Which is
10,
unconstitutional.
Probably 10%.
Well, inflation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
well,
get a
they got to
raise
give
in your,
themselves a cost of living. They got to give them a cost of living of 13% for food, 14% for electric, 40% for gas, 6 3/4 for interest, 6.7% for inflation.
Mike, you're the oldest one here. I'm sure you're on Social Security, right? Yeah.
He just started. He
Just
got his
started?
first check yet.
Not yet.
All right, so you don't know, so you wouldn't know if you got a raise yet.
He did.
Not much. Not much though.
No, it's
10%.
under inflation. It's under cost of living.
Yep.
But it's always been. No matter what kind of cost of living increase you get, it's always below what the cost of living is.
I didn't get a raise this year.
I haven't gotten a raise since I started working there. Thank you, Will.
They're trying.
They ain't trying.
So I like to surf the internet. I can do two things at once, Junior.
That's a shot there.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
Sometimes.
do you have the one from AOC?
I can't find that one, but we'll get into that one in a second. But Biden said this: the public's not going to pay attention to investigations into his family.
Yeah, I saw that.
Even his own base, the Democrats don't even want him to run for president again.
He said that on, I think it was PBS.
Okay. They don't want him to run for president. He's part of the problem. And they know that. So they want him out. But he says the public's not going to pay attention. They're going to pay attention. See, Democrats opened up a can of worms
Yeah.
when they started investigation, all these false things about the Russia collusion and impeaching Trump 2 times. Now they've opened up where every president is probably going to be impeached because of these idiot Democrats. And believe me, there's idiot Republicans too. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, there's tons of them. And
I like Lauren Boebert.
I don't.
She stood for it. She stood up and said, no, I'm not putting Kevin McCarthy in there. He's part of the
I'm
problem
not talking
too.
about that. I'm just talking about other stuff she says.
Mm.
I agree with her on that one. But Biden's a straight up liar, folks. He's been lying to us for 50 years in office.
Yeah, man, I tell you, I was infuriated.
He's done
listening
nothing
to that.
to help the black community. He's done nothing to help the white community. He's done nothing to help the Asian community. Nothing to help the Hispanic community except open our borders to make this country less safe.
But the people living in Washington, D.C.
Now they're busy.
capital, they're doing great.
Yeah, they're doing great. But AOC is I found this earlier. I can't find it right now. But AOC is pissed off at the Republicans because something about Republicans are bringing back slavery because they want to end non-citizens from voting in D.C. Is she a fucking moron or what?
She's an idiot. She's not the dumbest person in Washington, D.C.,
She's
though.
close.
My pick for the dumbest person in Washington, D.C., Maxine Waters.
She's pretty bad too.
She is.
But AOC, just put your foot in your mouth. They're non-citizens. They don't get a right to vote. It's ridiculous.
I'm going to introduce something to AOC.
Change the laws.
You see this? It's called the United States Constitution.
She doesn't even know the three branches of
The
government.
law of the land. 46% of your elected officials don't know the three branches of government. Like I say a million times, when you go to these political rallies, ask them the three branches of government. You are going to see them change, shoop, 3 shades whiter.
You know, the funny part is it's not just this country. Iran, we'll be right with you, Mike. Iran, France, Canada, they're all fed up with their government. And it's just going to be a matter of time before the people say no more. And we're hoping we get there soon. Start voting these clowns out. Because they're nothing but tyrants and clowns in my book. Mike?
Something from James Sheedy.
James.
Yeah, it says, I couldn't bring myself to watch that babbling idiot of a president speak. I saw bits and pieces on Hannity. Majority Taylor Greene was awesome, yelling, liar, good for her.
I tell you what, he did have some mumblings and just kept on going through it like you were like, what? Did he say something?
Margaret says about what is it,
AOC.
AOC. She doesn't believe in it because she was showing the Constitution.
Yeah.
And should be taken out of office.
Well, she didn't take her oath. So if you don't take your oath, you should be allowed to hold that office.
Yep.
Go on with this. Dennis has some real good stuff coming up here right now.
Yeah, I brought Biden up and AOC because I believe they're part of the problem to why our country is in decay. We can't even recognize this country anymore. Politicians have separated us by race, income levels, education levels.
Mm.
We have riots in the streets. We look like a third world country. To be honest, it's freaking ridiculous. Groups like Antifa, Black Lives Matter, Proud Boys, they're all spreading hate about each other because they want to see our country fail. And our politicians are doing nothing to condemn these people. Democrats say, oh, it's just a peaceful protest when Black Lives Matter destroy your cities, when Antifa destroys your cities, when the Proud Boys destroy your cities. No, it's not. They're all fucking morons for destroying their cities. Sorry.
North Carolina state legislators passed a law to make riots a larger felony. It's going up to the state. It had already passed both houses in North Carolina, but their governor's a Democrat, and he vetoed it the last time to see if they get enough votes to get it passed this time.
The thing is, we need DAs to enforce it.
And then they can get their money from George Soros.
Stop worrying about the freaking criminal. Start worrying about the victim. Start worrying about the people who pay taxes in this freaking country that are law-abiding citizens. There's always going to be lawbreakers. These people want to see our country fail. Other countries are watching us very closely and building up their nuclear arms arsenals, such as China and North Korea. They're part of the axis of evil that President Bush spoke about. It's very real, and it's right in front of our eyes. Most of us are too blind to look at it, too blind to see it. But our politicians are buddy-buddy with China. We all know it. They seem to have our number. Matter of fact, not only China, but North Korea and Russia and Iran have us all on notice.
Well, China has our number.
They do.
It's $1.5 billion that they gave Hunter Biden for a hedge fund company.
North Korea has told their military to start preparing their soldiers for a major offensive. They've been testing more and more missiles to see how far they can travel. I read something yesterday. They have more intercontinental ballistic missiles than the U.S. could deal with in one day. Just a matter of time before China and Russia and Iran all come together. They're going to start acting in unison to pull the United States into different fields of battle. We all know Kim Dum Jum, whatever his name is, Kim Ung Dun, Kim Un Suk, I don't know. North Korea will attempt to take over South Korea. I say before 2025. And naturally, the United States will have to defend Korea. They are our ally, and we can't leave them defenseless. I also think by the year 2025, China is going to invade Taiwan. It might be at the end of this year, like Jack said.
Well, they're waiting for us to run out of munitions.
Yep.
We're sending so many over to Ukraine. They're just waiting for. They have a number, and they understand our manufacturing, and they understand the materials we have to build them because they have most of them, and they're waiting for us to go below that number. Yeah, keep giving it to Ukraine. Why do you think Russia's letting this war last so long?
They're all in cahoots. So we get into war with North Korea and China
Over Taiwan.
over Taiwan. That's 2 battlefronts we got to worry about. That's crazy. Our fearless leaders in Washington have told Taiwan we'll support them should China invade you. This world is a crazy place right now. As a matter of fact, the Biden administration has taken steps to show China how serious we are in protecting Taiwan. If this is done right, and I really don't think it's going to be done right with this administration, it might be one of Biden's better moves. Currently, we have 5 military bases in the Philippines. Don't know where they are, doesn't really matter. But this administration, this team struck a deal with the Philippine government to add 4 more bases to bring the total number of 9. And one of them will be in the Luzon province. Luzon is approximately 200 miles from Taiwan. That is so close. Very close. We'd be able to send squadrons of planes to assist Taiwan. That could be a game changer. We hope it will be a game changer. We hope China would back down. More important, we will stick to our commitment of helping another one of our allies. So where are we getting this third scenario? That depends on Russia. At this time, they're not doing very well in Ukraine. Really hope Ukraine keeps up the offensive. But for some reason, I think Russia's going to expand like they started, and they're going to end up winning.
Mm-hmm.
And I think their heads are going to be so big after that. I think they're going to try to go after Poland next. If they try to attack them, Poland, the United States, and NATO, we'll join the Polish government to keep Russia out.
If that happens, though, Ukraine's done. Ukraine will never be Ukraine again. It'll be under Russian rule forever.
So that's World War III, 3 war fronts. I'm not sure. Go ahead, Mike.
Plus, we also have to worry about terrorists. Because if Iran's in the mix, you can count on a few terrorist bombs or chemical weapons going off in this country.
Right. I'm not sure these politicians will be able to declare war against any of those countries.
They haven't in 70 years.
They couldn't call it Iraq war. They couldn't call it an Afghanistan war because they are cowards and they hide behind their desks. There's no unity with our politicians. Well, it's a co-party now, uniparty.
Uniparty.
Yeah,
It's definitely a uniparty. There is one party in Washington.
politicians against us.
Absolutely.
You know, there's no unity whatsoever. And after this Chinese balloon fiasco, I don't think our military leaders know what they're doing.
No, they don't know what they're doing.
Some of the men in the military want to wear dresses. High-ranking military officers want to wear dresses to their whatever they go to. It's a sad world.
State of the Union.
I'm surprised they didn't. What I'm saying is, we as citizens, we need to be ready at all times to protect not only ourselves and our families, but also our neighbors. They're going to be relying on us. People who have weapons that didn't give up their rights, because it's going to take a nation of patriots to win this country over, to protect this country, and to keep China and Russia and Iran and North Korea out. We'll weather the storm. However, it's going to take new leaders to stand up, leaders that have balls, that stand up and lead the way, out in the front, like true leaders, like Patton, not hiding in the back behind the desk, which our politicians do so well, waiting for something to happen. That's all I have on this. Jack, you have anything else?
Yeah, I think next week I'm going to do the Bill of Rights because, like Dennis said, you know,
the Second Amendment is a right.
They're coming for it.
And a right is a right. There's nothing that says on there, again, like I said last week, the Second Amendment wasn't developed so that somebody could go squirrel hunting or, big game hunting, whatever kind of hunting. No, it wasn't meant for recreational use. It was to
Protect
keep
us from the
tyranny
government.
out of your house.
They're there to protect us from the government.
And let me tell you
Up
something.
in the State of the Union.
Yeah, he did. And let me tell you something. The Bill of Rights, the 10 amendments that are our Bill of Rights, I'm going to just go through them real fast next week, and I'm going to show you how they're violating them right now. They're violating your Bill of Rights, and they know they can get away with it because
no one does anything.
you want to know why? The constituent that votes these people in does not know the Constitution or the Bill of Rights or the other amendments after that. They don't understand how it was formulated. They don't understand why the Bill of Rights were put in after Congress was seated already. Right there, we got it on the wall. Congress of the United States. You know who signed the Bill of Rights? The Speaker of the House and John Adams, the President of the Senate. These things were put in there to protect you and your posterity, meaning your future, your later generations. There's a lot of people trying to leave a legacy for their children. And I think the most important thing to leave to your children is a free country right now.
That's right.
So,
We need them to have the same freedoms as we did when we were kids.
and you want to know what they should have that's even better than what we have right now? True leadership.
Yeah, without socialism on the horizon.
The leadership that we put into office right now, we should be ashamed of. We should be we should all be hanging our head low.
I give our senators 12 years. I'll vote for them, the initial time and one more time. And the other ones there, I'll do 6 years. I'll give them 3 terms. I mean, after that, they're done. They don't need to be there anymore. Don't need them.
I mean,
New people, new ideas.
well, it's even more important than that. We need these people that make these laws up to come back home and live by it.
Yep.
And show how hard it is. You got to get rid of all the bureaucracies out of Washington, D.C., so there's no because that's what they do. As soon as they retire out of government, they go work for a special interest. So they never leave Washington, D.C. They're still there.
They become lobbyists.
And you want to know where the word lobbyist come from?
Where?
It comes from President Grant, because when he was president, so many people wanted favors from him, and he was staying at these hotels. He would say, well, tell him I'm going to meet him at the lobby. And they were lobbyists.
Cool. Learn something new every day, folks.
On that, I'm going to end on that because it makes me look smart. That and my glasses.
So that's our take on the State of the Union and some current affairs.
It was very sad. The State of the Union was really. So was the balloon.
The Chinese balloon fiasco and the upcoming World War III we're getting closer to.
3 years ago, me and Dennis did a podcast on how this world was picking sides. And we had said it was going to be Russia, China, Iran, North Korea against these woke idiots in France, Germany, United States, Canada, Australia. They're so worried about this one world order, and instead of worrying about the crisis of today.
Part of the show, we always talk about this, the Constitution. We're trying to inspire you to pick up this 36-page document and read it.
I have 4 copies of it.
This is the document that governs this land, our politics, and the citizens of this great country.
You know how much that copy cost me?
Like
This is the
$2.
Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States with the Bill of Rights in it, and a few other things that got prefaced and stuff like that. You know how much this was?
$3.99.
Free. I got it from the Cato Institute.
Oh, you like free?
Yep.
That people like free. You can go on our website and download it. It's free
It's
there
free.
too.
Yep.
Our Declaration of Independence and the Constitution is right on our webpage.
And all your state constitutions are on our website.
Right.
If you want to know if your state legislators and your state senators and your governor are doing what they're supposed to be, fedupwithpolitics.com, find your state, click on it, and you have
Yeah, we
your
did
state's constitution on
We
it,
did a big thing about immigration on a couple of our shows,
especially East Texas.
and nothing in their constitution says they can't build a wall.
No.
These countries are screwing with people just like this federal government is. But the Constitution, again, it's only 36 pages. The more we read it, knowledge is power, people. You know more than these politicians, they can't get away with the shenanigans that they've been getting away with for the last 30, 40 years.
Again, if you know the Constitution, and your state legislators know the Constitution, the Republicans might be running the Senate right now.
Yep.
Because you wouldn't have been allowed to have mail-in ballots if the state decided not to have mail-in ballots for the Senate. Could have had it for your representatives. They can change those laws, but they cannot change the law of how, where, and when you elect a
Yep.
U.S. senator in your state.
The State of Union the other night, it wasn't impressive at all.
It was a sham.
It was false hopes
Lies.
that politicians hope to achieve on office. We said it earlier. It should be about what our country is facing right now. There's a lot we're facing. I don't care if you tell us we're going to try and do better. It's better than lying to us. This administration, I said it again, I'll say it again. They say they want to finish the job and deliver it to the middle class. He said that last year, State of the Union, he said it in his first inaugural address. As a matter of fact, every president over the last 30 years has said they want to help the middle class. When are the middle class people of this country going to pull our head out of our butts and realize none of these administrations have owned up to helping the middle class? They failed us. Not only the middle class, but every registered voter, non-voter of this country.
You want
in the
to
United States.
know when the middle class is going to have their government representing them? When you know more about your government than they do.
Yep.
Because it won't take long. Like we say, you read this a few times, you know more than they know.
And they fear a united people.
They fear somebody that knows the government.
The black community and white community came like this, we could take over just like that. Just like that. Because they are so afraid of this. That's why they do this. That's why they constantly pull us apart. I'm pretty done here. You're pretty done. Mike, you want to lead us in prayer?
Yeah.
Yeah, be more positive.
Isaiah 25:8a. He will swallow up death and victory, and the Lord God will wipe away tears from off all faces. Please, Lord Father, bless and protect this new party, this podcast, and all that work on it and all that listen to it. Lord, have the people in our nation get back into fellowship with you. Lord, please help all the people in Turkey and Syria, and for all other people around this world that are grieving. Lord Father, right now, standing at the graves of the ones they love, they cannot be consoled by any words. They are only capable of weeping for their loss. All they can feel is despair and anger that their loved ones have been ripped away from them. They are in shock and in pain, and yet Jesus, through his death and resurrection, has conquered death. Please, Lord Father, be with them today as they grieve. Lord, wipe away their tears and give them faith in these dark hours. For the victory is already yours. We pray this in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen. So we need to restore faith in America. Satan is staring us right in the face. And people have lost their hope, their faith in God. One of our things here with this party is we want to restore faith in America. We need your help to do that. Satan cannot win if we all work together and we all have faith. You said this?
I just wanted to say, Mike saying that with Turkey, and I'm like, our hearts go out to them. Milwaukee's police department lost an officer. He was killed in the line of duty, and New York City did too. So, for those families and those police departments,
2 politicians were killed, one last week, one this week. I forgot
New Jersey.
where out, New Jersey, and one where else? Both in Jersey?
both in Jersey.
It's gonna get worse, folks. People are fed up with politicians. There's no reason to go out and kill a politician. There's no reason to go out and kill anybody. We can all unite for a better America. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. Jack and Mike will talk to you next Thursday. And thanks for watching, and goodbye.
Good job.